Regan, I mean, this was something. I went back and looked at some of your stats from when you raced Xfinity Series.
I'd have won a lot more races.
That's what I was getting ready to tell you.
More.
But did it help you racing against? Because I went back, your last win, you second and third was Denny and Kyle at I think it was Dover, right?
Yep.
But then I went back and looked, and you had 11 top fives that season, and then I looked at some of the top threes and fours, and it was Brad, Denny, Kyle. Who at Blaney, I think was in the 22 car, was really good that year with a different mix of drivers. I think you probably would have had 2 wins that year. You probably would have been closer to 6 or 7, I think, if there's no Cup guys in those races. So
and that's why this is spot on for me. Iron sharpens iron, right? And if you let these Cup guys run more of these races, we're truly going to see what the talent level is and who has got it, if you will. And like we're watching Connor and Corey, and we know anybody that's watched a race car and watched a driver knows that they've both got it. But then you get back through the pack a little ways further, and you maybe question it a little bit, like, well, is this guy good enough to move up and make it at some point or another? So I think it's great. And do we need to go back to the era of Cup guys running a full season in O'Reilly Auto Parts Series? I got it right, or I think I did.
You're gonna have to get used to it big time for TV.
I don't have to talk about O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Yeah, I guess you don't. Yeah,
I'll be safe for a while.
Never mind, you're good.
But I do like having the opportunity for more Cup guys to be out there more frequently. I think it's just gonna make everybody better, and we're gonna see the talent quicker, and they're going to be able to gauge themselves, off of what's going to make me ready to go Cup racing, and what's going to teach me how the Cup guys race a little bit differently than the Xfinity guys, and I'm all for it.
Tommy, I think we've talked about it here before, but let's just rehash it. Luke, we're hoping he can end up maybe in a truck next year somewhere. Having those guys on the racetrack with Luke is only going to make him better, no?
Absolutely. He deals with on a smart tour with Newman.
Yeah.
I mean, the he learns racing around Newman and what goes on. I mean, it has been beneficial to him the last couple of years, racing against somebody like that. And I want to see Luke drive against the best race car drivers in the world to see how well he's going to do. So I have no problems with that.
Yeah, I think, I almost think we're fixing a problem that we don't have. I don't know how many guys really want to do it. You talked about there's not a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
There's not a lot you're going to learn on Saturday that you can bring over to Sunday. I think there's guys like Ross. I think Ross would race as much as you let him. I feel like he's the one now. He's kind of picked up that mantle from Kyle, where you see him out there more. And Kyle, I think, would have done it if he had his own team still. Maybe he runs more truck races. But I don't know that we needed a fix. But I like the idea of that. I do want a handful of races, at least the playoffs and whatever format we run next year, where it's just the Xfinity guys, because I think they also have to be able to make a name for themselves. If this is back in 2015, Connor Zillich probably doesn't have a 10, 11 win season. He probably has a 4 or 5 win season. Maybe.
Still a great
year,
season.
But it's not a record-breaking season, because he's probably getting wins stolen from Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin or Brad Keselowski, whoever was out there at the time. So I'm kind of 50-50, because I love the fact that these kids get to make names for themselves. But I go back to talking to Jesse before after his start at Bristol, and he's running top 3 or 4 in every Xfinity race he's run at that point. And I'm like, what were your expectations going to Bristol? He's like, I thought I was going to go run top 10. He's like, I don't know, I'm really good at Bristol. And he goes, I struggled to run top 30. He's like, it was just such an eye-opening moment to like, holy shit, everybody up here is really, really good, and he's in decent equipment, solid equipment, but it's like, so I think they need to race against these guys more often so that they know,
right,
okay, this is where I need to be. Really.
The main thing is, what does it take away from the series if you have 2 or 3 more Cup guys in each race for the first 20 races of the year? What does it take away?
Yeah, I think, and we went to this rule because
nothing. Yeah.
Nobody was winning. There was like Allgaier would pop 1 win off, or you would pop, like at that time, because it was the Cup guys were basically running 2 full-time schedules. Right. They were running full-time Cup and full-time Xfinity, and there's a Cup guy winning every race. And then yourself or Justin or somebody would pop off, and there'd be like a big story. Oh, and O'Reilly
they
regular.
felt damn good when you did it too.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be
That's
honest.
what I was going to ask you. When you beat those guys at Dover, like that makes that win that much more important to you.
Oh,
Right?
100%. I mean, yeah, it just you remember those, right? I can go through all my Xfinity wins were here at JRM, and I can go through every single one of them and say, okay, this Cup guy was in the field. This is who we passed for the win. This is who we beat at this track. This is who we beat at this one. And you remember them. Now, I partially remember them because I still had single-digit wins, so it's easier to remember them all that way. But a win's a win, right? And it just I like the Cup guys being out there. I think it's going to make the Xfinity or the I just did it. The O'Reilly drivers better. It's going to make the Craftsman truck drivers better. And what do you lose? If anything, you might lose one or two vehicles at the back of the field that don't show up on a given weekend because they might not be able to make a race if there's too many cars or trucks there that we're likely going to be 10 laps down anyways. Yeah. And I don't mean that negatively towards those guys, but I don't know that you're making the series better.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see